silent about it, when to do something like that. And planning poker is not a practice of Scrum. It's just an additional practice you can apply if you like to play it, yeah. Nothing wrong with it. I like to do it too.
I still have difficulties to distinguish the difference between sprint planning 1 and 2.
Topic 1, topic 2, yeah. Like I said, this can be one event. It can be a common event, a joint event. But let's go through it and then hopefully it will clarify it a little bit more, okay? So, we have here something that says question mark done at refinement or earlier. Was that for the estimation? Or what's the question mark?
Sorry, could you repeat it? It's probably ours. Could you please read it one more time?
Done at refinement, question mark, earlier, question mark.
It's for the second bullet point that the estimation is
The prioritization.
prioritization. Sorry, should
Yeah.
go in there.
For me, it belongs to here. Because if you want a sorted backlog that they can pull from top of the list, for example, or that's what the procedure is, it needs to be prepared up front, right? Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense. Of course, once you start having a conversation again, probably in sprint planning topic 1, there could be changes to the sorting, theoretically. But the better choice is, of course, to have a prepared product backlog with the priorities already clear. Yeah. So that should clarify this one. Result. Sprint. The result is a sprint. It's a little bit abstract, maybe too abstract for me. Sprint goal, yeah, it's okay. Refined product backlog should be part of the preparation. So what's probably another sprint backlog? Sprint backlog, yeah, the initial sprint backlog. That could go into here, true. We could just add to here. Yeah, sprint backlog. What's in the sprint backlog at this point of time? At the very beginning of the sprint. What's going into the sprint backlog if we just focus on topic 1 right now?
Backlog items.
Sorry?
Backlog items.
Backlog items, yes, absolutely. And that's why I'm asking, because we are generally talking about backlog items. Susie mentioned, or you asked about the terms Apex, user stories, etc. already. We're generally talking about backlog items, something that has been clarified, refined, split, and sorted in some kind of way. Yeah. So what's now the distinction to topic 2? What's really the big difference and why we have 2 separate stations here? You have said purpose, find out technology needed, schedule of daily scrums, retro, it says not, question mark, etc., etc. Who did a question mark, who added something here?
We added the question marks and the not parts as the planning of the daily scrums and the retrospective, the schedule. We didn't think that happens in this appointment.
I would also say this is not part of the daily the sprint planning topic 2, because this is something about the general schedule. This is something that's done probably only once up front before you start with the first sprint. Then you never ever need to do this organizational part again. If it's repeating the same way, the same cadence, etc. True. Here it says refine SB sprint backlog items.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who added that? No one. How did you appear?
We did add that.
You-
Don't do
okay.
no handwriting, sorry.
Thanks, I was doubting myself
They
already.
were deciphering it.
Yeah. It says refine sprint backlog items. What do you mean by that?
So that you get out of the tasks that you do during the sprint to achieve the sprint goal.
Yeah.
Breaking it down to tasks.
Yeah, breaking it down to something that needs to be done maybe on a technology level, maybe on a strategic level, maybe on an organizational level, whatever the task is then. Yeah. So breaking it down to something that can be done within, let's say, 4 to 8 hours maybe.
Yeah.
Roughly. Then I would say I would add it to here. Here it says breakdown of SPIs to small tasks, which is pretty much the same, right? So just keep it here then. Preparation, sprint backlog items available. Which ones? Once again? The tasks or the other ones? The bigger ones. Yeah. So what we have pulled from the product backlog. Yeah. Procedure characteristics, prior of sprint backlog it says here, and sprint backlog items allocation. So this needs to be explained for me, please. What did you mean by that?
The individual team members, they pull the SPI and say, I'll do that.
Exactly, and that's exactly the point. Because if we're talking about allocation, it's once
Yeah.
again the pull mechanism, and that's where we need to be precise. In Scrum, we are using a pull mechanism here and there. So there is no pre-assignment of I'm telling you, you take this task, you take that task or something. That doesn't exist in Scrum. Pulling, everybody who has the intention to do this or that task pulls it from the list and moves it to work in progress or something. Whatever your status is then you use, right?
But only for the first task. There will be tasks on the board left which are currently not assigned to anyone.
Exactly. So you start with one task, hopefully only not 10, because otherwise we're caught in multitasking hell or something once again where we don't want to end up. Now, definitely focus is one of the Scrum values. Keep focused on one task. Maybe two if they complement each other or something like that. That depends on the what it is. So here it says task planning. That's okay. So what's the preparation from sprint planning topic 2? General on a meta level.
Sprint planning one.
This one here, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So sprint planning topic 1 is the meta level preparation. A result, we have a sprint goal, which is more or less, and that depends once again how you set it up. Are there two different events, then it's probably here, then you came up with the sprint goal here. If it's just one event, it's also correct to have it in here. But what I like to add here is also other than tasks available for each sprint, which is okay. I like to add that we have a plan for the sprint, right? Because in Scrum, in Agility, we are working in a value-driven fashion, as opposed to a plan-driven fashion, right? So traditional project management, if you've done a PMI certification years back, this is what you learn. This is something which is called plan-driven approaches. Nowadays, in Scrum and Agility, we talk about value-driven approaches. Yeah. But still, we use the word planning. Still, we have plans. So a plan is nothing bad, even not in a Scrum environment. We still need plans. Yeah. So totally okay to use it.
What kind of plan?
What kind of plans do we have? Question for you.
Plan how to build it.
How to build it, for example. Yeah.
What to do?
What to build. Yeah. What else?
Test plan.
Test plan maybe. Yeah. Why not?
When?
When? Yeah, sure. We also have time plans in Scrum. Why not? You also have probably something called feature breakdown structures, which is also a plan. Not so much work breakdown structures, this is more the traditional approach. But feature breakdown structures, stuff like that. Still plans, release plans. There's nothing wrong with having a release plan because your clients, the people out there want to know when they will get something. If I want to be ready with my product before Christmas, then it would be nice to have a release plan which says we will release before Christmas. So we can sell it before it, right? Things like that. Very obvious things, but I like to mention them. There's something
Yeah.
working in your head, I can see it.
Yeah,
I
because we
can't
have
see it inside.
We have a lot of problems to
Yeah. I'm just here to say that.
Especially when we have the task planning, yeah, everything is fine, and we have those tasks, and the end comes to the sprint, and the toughest tasks are where nobody grabbed the toughest task.
Yeah.
So,
What could you do? Any ideas? If something like that happens, nobody wants to do it. That's normal. That's nothing unusual. It's not just you or your teams or so. What happened? What could we do?
Break down. Split it.
Sorry?
Break down into finer pieces.
Maybe. Yeah. What was the other
You're
one?
trying to resell it, but people they just smell that there is a user story
Yeah.
that is. It just if it is hard stuff, then you can repack it. They
Yeah.
already smelled it. So
I mean, if you want to trick people into something and that would be the best case scenario, I wouldn't do it. No, that's not transparent anymore. That's hiding something. But sure, you can resell it by explaining more the benefit of it to others probably. So creating some kind of motivation to take it. That's also an aspect you could do. What else could you do?
Pair programming, not assign somebody directly on the task,
Maybe.
but two persons.
Sure, share the pain. Sometimes helps. Or very simple.
okay.
You got it. Sorry. Next time somebody else.
but then it's not pulling.
Yeah, in that case, but if the team agrees, to it, yeah, sure, let's draw it. Let's draw the bottle.
Okay.
Then it's okay for the team.
Especially if it's the last task to do, everybody else will be sitting around
Yeah.
if nobody does it.
I
In
would.
real life, nobody sits around.
Yeah.
Every time it's
Yeah, but I think it would be better to actually figure out why it causes such an impediment, to dig deeper. If it's difficult, why is it difficult? Is it because we lack the knowledge?
Yeah.
Can we get a business analyst for that? Can we have someone from external support to explain this to us?
And let's face reality.
Let's not repackage things, that's not transparent.
There will be always such things which nobody wants to do because they're just painful, they're boring, they're not really challenging, things like that. And like I said, if you come up as a team with, okay, if something like that happens and nobody of us wants to touch it, what's the mechanism we can use it? Let the team decide it. And gamification, playing something is very helpful in that situation. It's at least what I try to do with it when I'm a Scrum Master or a coach. Good? So, anything I left aside, what is coming afterwards, starting the sprint, finalized list of sprint backlog items we have here, and it's a sprint planning topic too, that's both okay from my perspective. What does it mean to start the sprint? We're already working here, we are planning something, I mean.
Working on the
I loved it. Every time I ask such a question, somebody says start working.
the real work.
The real work. That's not work. No. No, cool. Yeah, absolutely. So, who will be in here? Here it says dev team plus PO. That we can do remove, I guess. Responsible, that's okay. What about the Scrum Master?
Scrum Master can bring the capacity estimates for the team.
Scrum Master has to be in place.
The Scrum Master should be the meeting facilitator.
Yeah, facilitation, moderation, stuff like that. So definitely plus the Scrum Master. It's definitely optional because if you don't need moderation or facilitation anymore, could the Scrum Master just go on vacation and leave the team and the product owner alone in the room?
Yes.
Why not? But who definitely needs to be there?
Yeah. The program.
Let me ask you one question. If the Scrum Master is not there, could there be a result?
Yes.
Yes.
The product owner is not there, could there be a result?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
If
Who
it's
says yes? Who says no? What do I say?
No.
it depends.
That's what you want, yeah.
Somewhere in the middle.
Who is responsible for the result?
Team.
Which team?
If a team is responsible, then nobody
Scrum team.
Oh, that's not true. The whole Scrum team. What's the mechanism? What's the result once again? We have the sprint backlog. That means we have pulled from the product backlog. Who does that? The product owner does not pull from the product
Dev
backlog.
team.
The dev team. So who has the main thing to do in here? Yeah. I agree. I like to say it's a little bit the PO with the dev team, but who is the main thing to do? If the PO is not there, could there still be a result?
Yes.
Yes, I think so. Because still somebody will pull something and you will still have your initial sprint backlog, right? I think you get where I'm aiming at. Yeah. Cool. And here it says who is there? Development team, responsible product owner, and development team. So who is it now? Dev team. Yeah. In that case, it's definitely the dev team. Location, meeting room, or something where you can see your product backlog and probably physically pull them from somewhere. I don't like so much these setups where you have a large screen and somebody is with the mouse just drag and dropping something from left to right. I really like to more this interactive scenario where I have a long table, maybe you have the index cards on the table, just pull it to a wall and so to the backlog. Yeah, that's much more fun and more engaging actually. What about having customers and stakeholders in here? No.
Product backlog.
Hmm?
The product backlog.
In this event?
No, not
It-
What for?
No.
As I'm asking you, is there what would be a chance if you would have stakeholders, customers in here?
To get better, quicker feedback on how things are going on. To see if the
Mhm.
customer likes it that you're going in that direction or the other direction.
Okay.
But if the customer starts to mix in the planning, then you get no result.
That's definitely a risk.
Mhm.
I see that too as a risk. But if we talk about the sprint goal and what the expectation for the sprint is for the next week or 2 weeks or 4 weeks, wouldn't it be nice if the customer, your client agrees to it and says, yes, if there are questions, I will be available, things like that?
Isn't that the job of the product owner to get with the customer agreed and then
Yes. Just of the product owner?
Well,
not the
okay, the trust is important.
I agree, the product owner plays a vital role in that. But I'm asking, just the product owner?
Also the dev team.
I would say the Scrum
Yes,
Master
yes.
because the dev team shouldn't talk directly to the customer.
Right.
Oh, ouch.
I think that dev team should talk, but I should have a relation to the customer.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but only one should have the final word on this, because if 3 to 9 people talk to the customer, what is the single voice that you have to the customer?
I mean, imagine this scenario. There is a customer and there is a dev team or 2 dev teams, and this is fully stacked with people. That means 18 people in the dev team, and everybody is rushing at the client, at one person over there, and trying to extract something. That sounds overwhelming, and I wouldn't like such a scenario too. On the other hand, if I have multiple contacts on the other sides and there is direct communication, what would be the advantage of that?
But that's not the case in real life.
It is.
The question
Well,
is direct communication one way or both ways? Because
Both ways.
if you have a question, it's okay to ask the client, but if the client has a new requirement and comes in the middle of the sprint and goes to the developer, I want it that way.
Yeah, that's once again the risk. That's a little strange because we are always focusing on these negative aspects. Let's try to extract a little bit more the positive aspects of that. Of course, it needs to be managed somehow. But what would be a positive aspect if I have direct communication between dev team and customer?
You will not waste time. You can get the answer
Yeah,
immediately.
saving
But
time.
depending, it needs
Sure.
to be some
Forget for the
time
moment, just for a second,
discussion.
forget the but.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are the advantages?
The information gap, there is no information gap, because you ask
Yeah.
a question to person, to this
Yeah.
Directly.
Because-
person between.
Absolutely. handover of information, like if I give you the information, you give it to Manuel and Manuel to Miro, and then the same chain back, we have 2 times information loss, right? So you're definitely not getting what I said here. So if you can get rid of these Chinese whispers of this Stille Post principle, that's of course better.
But you, as soon as you get, but you assume that you get for one question, one answer from the customer, which is not the likely scenario.
No, I'm not assuming that. I'm just saying what's the benefit of having direct communication. That's all I'm saying here at the moment. I'm not interpreting anything else into it currently, right? But sure, you have your experience, and I don't know your customers, so I don't know how many people are talking differently. I know what the reality looks like. I'm just saying, information loss, we want to get rid of that. Saving time, we want to do that. Yeah, these are the benefits if we have direct communication. Needs, what's the mechanism to control it that it's not running out of track, off track, like your negative examples you brought up.
You have a single point of contact on our side and on the customer side, and those contacts, they make up the mind and communicate on a one-to-one basis.
Yeah, that's not enough for me. If it's only one-on-one, then it's once again handover situation. If I have a single point of contact, which is okay in my perspective, I would like to add at least some of the team members to the conversation directly. So the client can contact me directly, he knows I'm the one person to contact, but I don't want to hand over information, I want to share information. And that's a different concept, right? So not a one-on-one situation, definitely not. That's the worst case scenario, unfortunately, from a communication perspective. I want to have a shared view on something. And if I'm a developer, yeah, let me just draw you, and this is where we end them here, because we're going already in a different topic, and I don't want to lose focus so much. We're already losing it a little bit, but this is probably interesting. We have something which is called the problem space, and here is something we call the solution space, right? We had already in the morning the definition of done and these vertical slices and so forth. Where would you put the customer to?
Problem.
No.
Who says problem? Who says solution space?
Customers in between.
Customers in
The
between?
customer is everywhere.
Yeah, exactly, but they sometimes don't know how to get there. I
Right.
think it's a bit of both, right?
Of course, it's always a little bit of both, but what do you start with?
Whose problem is it? Is it your problem or is it the customer's problem?
If I want to build something and the customer is something ordering from me, whose problem is it?
Mine.
Customer.
You want to solve the problem that the customer has.
Exactly, the customer has a problem, something that should be solved. I will be the one who solves it for him, maybe, but the original aspect of the problem comes from here somewhere, and that means from the customer in the problem space. And they're talking their language, of course. They're describing their problem, hopefully, if they can. That's what we want to have. What are we describing if we are the vendors? We're describing the solution down here, right? Probably these are developers, testers, they use their fancy technology terms and throw it at the customer, and the customer is overwhelmed and has no clue what they are talking about. They have no clue what he's talking about, so we create this in-between situation with a lot of documents so that we can describe it and specify it and throw it over to them. They throw back a solution, it's never matching. That's what we want to get rid of, right? How can we get rid of that? Simply.
Putting them together in the same room so they can discuss it.
Let them talk to each other directly, let them understand each other better. Probably with somebody who's a PO that knows how to facilitate, or somebody, or how to translate, and somebody who is a Scrum Master maybe who knows how to facilitate that. So that's the mechanism we could use. And that's, if we have something like that, that's something that could work. That's when this situation exists. I would allow customers also to be in the sprint buying available so that we have this direct communication, the same expectations, learning to understand each other much better. Right? I think let's leave it for this for the moment. I see so many brains rotating at the moment, so I don't want to overwhelm you with that. One more question.
Yeah, regarding technical, you mentioned quite often right now, and it's an ongoing process, but the whole team is involved, the PO is involved, so there it has to be a meeting.
Yeah.
In fact, so.
Can we park that for a
Yeah.
moment because we fix that first and then let's
just
go
write
there.
it down.
Sure. It will become clearer and clearer. So we continue with that here. I'll put it over there then. Somebody put it for me? Put it over here. Put it over there on the wall. So, how about your energy? I asked you about the soup coma before we started. Are you alive, awake? Do you need a break? Oxygen, coffee, something. Can I serve you something? I can ask for you.
Cup of oxygen.
No.
Coffee.
Okay, one more to go.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, cool. Daily Scrum. We have a purpose here which says daily check on sprint progress, check if there are any impediments for the developers, and figure out if sprint goal is achievable. Who is okay with that?
Maybe
Nobody.
the last part.
Ah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, growing. 8, 9.
Okay, with to figure out if the sprint goal is achievable or?
What's here?
Okay.
The whole picture.
I thought that the sprint goal is part of the sprint progress.
Mm-hmm.
It
Who
was
added
meant
that?
to be in the,
Was it you?
yeah, no, it was me who wrote the green part.
That's supposed to be part of.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the sprint progress includes the goal, if you don't.
Sure. We can see it that way, I guess. Yes, absolutely. What I like to add here is one word, which is synchronization. I think the whole purpose of this event, which is called Daily Scrum, in extreme programming it was called Daily Stand-Up, is really to synchronize team members amongst each other. Because when I go in an organization, I very often hear people don't want to go to this Daily Scrum kind of thingy. And I very often hear, yeah, we're working in the same room, we're not co-located, we know everything about each other. We know about the progress, we know about the status, we know about each other. That's exactly the point when I insist on having a daily scrum as a coach. And in 99% of the times what happened here, if such a situation occurs, is that people start, yeah, I've done this yesterday, I will do that tomorrow, and I have this problem, I will resolve today. Hey, why? I've done that yesterday already. 99% of the time. Yeah. That's why I call it really a synchronization event.
People listen.
So, what's going on in here? Each team member tries to answer 3 questions, for example. So this was the example I brought here now. That's not the only format you can use. Whatever helps you to synchronize makes sense to me. Right? Help teammates, absolutely. That's probably even something
Isn't that a result of the?
could also go in here. Sometimes they are a little bit overlapping, I would say.
Because if you lose time, if you spend time in the daily to help teammates, then your daily isn't short anymore, and then
Right. And we didn't mean help them during the dailies, it's rather find out who you can help
Yeah.
if there are problems.
Finding out who can. Yeah, sure, absolutely. But it would either fit in here, or in here, I would say, in that case. What's a preparation? Know your, what's that?
content.
Content. Ah, okay.
In sense of know what you have to do.
Yeah.
To say exactly what you did.
Yeah. Very often I read in this template, no preparation needed. It's an event. It's a meeting. every meeting requires preparation, even if it's only a minute or so. Just think what you're saying there. Just think of that. You're starting to think of what you might answer to it in this event. What does that mean?
You don't listen to the other guy if you don't.
Yeah, probably the time 15 minutes, so that's a maximum of 15 minutes in here. You would exceed probably the time box very easily, right? That's what we don't want to have. It should be really focused to the point for synchronization, helping each other, stuff like that. Keep on coding, of course, is a post-processing and solve impediments if there are any, or follow-up meetings or something like that, right? Ooh, is there the Scrum team, and it says dev team, maybe SM, maybe PO. Yeah.
So, just to shortly explain.
Mhm.
Dev team makes the daily, Scrum Master and Product Owner can be there, but the Scrum Master has to make the Product Owner shut up. It's a team meeting, it's a meeting only for the development team, the
You're
development team.
brutal.
I'm sorry. Maybe it's a coffee. But I read that yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday I read the sentence that the Scrum Master has to make the Product Owner shut up.
Okay,
And I do this every time.
you do this every time. So your product owner hates you.
Oh, it's not me.
You know what's interesting about these arguments? We're talking about a Scrum team here. If you're always making your teammate shutting up,
Not always. Only.
he said always.
Yes.
You
I just do this because when the product owners start talking, we definitely exceed 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And the rule is everyone should have at
Yeah.
least 5 minutes, not more.
And I think that's a good way of explaining the moderation aspect. You know, you need to keep people focused, and that's what definitely a Scrum Master aspect. What an aspect of the role of a Scrum Master is. Learn how to keep people focused. Learn how to remember people that they should really keep in time and stuff like that. You know, it's easy to elaborate a lot about something, but coming to the point, being focused, that's the tough part. That also needs some learning, I guess, very often. And then I can understand your argument, yeah.
Yeah, the other it's shut it down. It's shut down. It doesn't.
No, sometimes, when the product owner has some work with some of dev developers with some feature, they start talking too much to each other
Yeah.
at morning, so I shut
Yeah.
completely.
Scrum requires discipline, definitely. So, and if people are all of the people are disciplined, then I personally have no problem that also the product owner is synchronizing with the others, because for the team members, for the dev team members, probably it's interesting what the product owner is up to, what he or she is doing currently. Why not? Maybe interesting information if we stay in time, you know. Cool. Responsible here it says team devs plus testers. Okay, equals. So the development team more or less. Yeah. Pretty much, I would say. Location, same room, virtual. Like Susie said in the morning, there is no co-location rule for Scrum, but if you read about what it means to become a team and the social aspects, so in sociology and psychology, if you read about real teams, then co-location is almost a prerequisite for that. Yeah? So virtual teams, from that perspective, don't really exist. We're talking about work groups there, right? It's a different concept. Even if Scrum is not saying you have to be co-located. So, anything I missed so far? No. I would suggest to take a quick break, and now I'm playing the dad for you. But don't let yourself organize here, because before we go into it, I have a lot to say about that, sorry. You're bored already, I see. No,
I just need a coffee.
you don't need a coffee. And that's why I want to give you a chance to get a coffee or something else, what you need. And let's come back in 10 minutes and then we do the rest.
Is a coffee already available? Because you mentioned something about 3 something.
She said at 3 p.m., but we can ask for it. I mean, that's not a problem.